Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt. Welcome to the New Brit Workshop. Today I'm going to show you the Festool Conturo Portable Edgebander. My aim is to show you how to set it up for the first time and how to use it. Along with that, I'll show you the edge trimming set, which contains a number of items which are exceptionally useful when doing portable edge banding. I'm also going to show you this sweet little edge trimming router, the MFK 700. Now when you take the machine out of the box, this is what you get. You get the machine itself. It comes with a detached handle which you need to fit, and that is very simple. There are two little holes up under here. You push this up so it locates those two holes, and then there's a tightening knob just there. You tighten that, and that's the job done. There's a drip catcher, and this is made of soft rubber, which makes it very easy to empty once any glue that's dripped in there has gone solid. And this fits under here. And you'll see there are three little lugs here, and they conform to the three little indents on the drip catcher. And all you do is you just feed it up in, making sure those three little lugs match up. And that's it held in place. You also get 4 blocks of glue, and of course you get an instruction manual, a quick startup guide, the guarantee information. Now when the Festool engineers got together and started analysing what is required for portable edge banding, they started from the absolute scratch. And one of the things that I remember only too well from the old-fashioned machines is that you ended up putting in little granules of glue into a reservoir which then got heated, and all this hot glue was then slopping around. You couldn't turn the machine at a slight angle or anything. Well, Festool have come up with this idea of solid glue blocks, and only the glue that is required for the task is melted. So just one face of a glue block is melted, and only enough for the task in hand. And that's what this reservoir is for here. That's where the glue blocks go. Now the machine has a very rugged mains lead which is about 6 meters long. Here there is an on-off switch, and next to it is a temperature selection switch which has 2 positions. In position 1 the temperature is set to a nominal 190 degrees centigrade, and position 2 it's set to a nominal 200 degrees centigrade. However, with controls which I'll show you in a minute at the top, you can select a temperature range from 100 up to 210 degrees Celsius. At the top here is a start-stop button, and then in the trigger here you have a speed control. Now the Conturo will take edging from 18 millimeters in width up to 65 millimeters in width, and you pass the edging in through the slot here, and you adjust using this knob so it matches the width of the edging. The machine is held here and here, and you work from the right to the left. And then as the edging goes in here, glue is applied to it via a nozzle which you can see here. And then that is then applied in turn to the wood. Now you can now see underneath the nozzle we have our rubber drip collector, and that's why it's there. And here you have a dust extractor port, which is useful if you're working in a confined space for an extended period of time, or if the type of glue you're using is one which you would rather the fumes were extracted. Right, we've now reached the very exciting part where we're going to turn this machine on for the very first time. So the first thing to do is to put in a minimum of 2 glue cartridges into the top here, which I've done, and close that down. Then there's an on-off switch here, and I'm going to press this until I see the Festool logo appear in the screen here. And there's Festool appearing there. The display is red at the moment, which means it's not ready. I've already selected the temperature here, which is relevant to the type of glue I'm using, but I can adjust this later on the menu at the top. And here in the display you're probably able to see that the actual operating temperature is going up. It's now at 180, and it's going up 185. Here's a countdown timer, and it's in its last few seconds now before the machine is ready to operate. and that's taken just 8 minutes total. So from the time you come in to work in the morning to the time that the machine is ready to use is 8 minutes. You can see here flashing, there's a little like a petrol station fuel tank sign, and this display here shows the capacity of the adhesive that's in the machine. So what I'm going to do now is to add some more adhesive. So first of all, I press this button here, which causes a plunger which is there to come away from the glue blocks which are already in the machine. And when the hourglass has gone away, I'll be able to insert some more glue. There we go. I can now lift the cover. There's a sign saying that I can lift the cover. In goes my glue. Cover's shut, and the machine now is just pushing the glue back along, so it's now ready to go. So that's done, and you can now see that my glue supply line has gone up quite a way. Now the menu selection is very simple. The left-hand button is the mode button, and you use this to select the feature you wish to change. And in every case, the right-hand button is the OK button, or the selection button, which you use when you've made the change you want to keep. And if I press this once for the first time, this is now going to change the amount of glue that is applied as I do the edging. I can go upwards, I can go downwards, and you note that the distance with the given amount of glue in the machine varies as I alter the dosage. Then the right hand button is the OK button. If I press this button twice, I now go to the temperature setting, which I can raise or lower, and the range is from 100 to 210 degrees centigrade. And when I've made my selection, press the OK button. And now go 3 times on here. I can now change between centigrade and Fahrenheit. If I now press the mode button 4 times, I'm now changing the distance that I can do with the glue from meters into feet and back again. So those are the various menu options. And as a matter of interest, if I change the setting here for the temperature, it's the 2-position switch, you can see that the figure here changes and it's now on 190 degrees centigrade. If I put it back into the 200 position, it's now heating up, it's now back at 200. Right, the machine's heated up and we're now ready to insert our edging, and you put the glue side facing away from you through this slot here and adjust the adjustment here until it just catches the edging, and then back off 1 click. That's fine, so that's free to move. Now at this stage I've checked that the temperature setting is correct for the type of glue I'm using, 200 degrees centigrade, and I'm happy that everything is ready to go. And so I'm going to now press the start button at the top here once. Right, so that's now been drawn into the machine. In the display there's a little tick sign showing to say that it's taken in the start of the edging, and I'm ready to start. Now in order to do this, I'm going to position the machine so that the line here, there's a line there, is level with the edge of the piece of work. But at this stage, the machine is about 2 centimeters away from the edge. And once I'm ready, I press the start button once more until I see the edge banding coming through here with glue applied, and then I start my process. And that's it. And the machine switches off automatically once you get to the end of that bit of edging. And now I have a perfect bit of edging on there. Now there are a number of extremely useful bits and pieces with the edge trimming set, which is the top sustainer that I have here. And one of them is this edge trimmer. It really is like a little guillotine, and you can see there's a blade arrangement, and it cuts edging in there. And the way you use this is very simple. You feed it on so that the edge strip is between the 2 blades. you position it carefully, and then you squeeze the black handle and the green handle together, like so. And that has trimmed that edge absolutely perfectly. Right, I'm now going to run this edge trimmer, this is the MFK 700, along the bottom edge. It's got a little cutter mounted in here. I've adjusted it, never used one of these before, but it looks pretty straightforward and easy, so let's give it a go. Well, that was pretty straightforward and easy. Now there are all sorts of other things in the edge trimming set, not least of which is this beautiful little edge trimming scraper. And it comes in its own box because it is actually very precious, and you should look after it and make sure it doesn't get dropped on the ground, hence the string. And with this you've got a number of options of how you might tackle the surface. There's a plain edge here, which one can use like so, to get rid of the last vestiges of any glue that might be there. There are also radii, 1.5, 2 millimeters. And I could now, if I wish, put a slight radius on here. And there we go. So that's more or less how one finishes an edge using that. And then also in the edge trimming set, there are a number of different ways of taking the edge a little further. And this is a little sanding block, and so I could do a final touch up with this. And there's even polishing material in there as well. So you can get this edge now as absolutely as fine as you wish. Right, I'm ready to go with the final straight piece on this piece of wood. Now, again, I'm lining up this center line here with the edge. I'm about 2 centimeters away. I'm going to press the start button. As soon as I see the glue in the edging, I'm on, holding it tight against the edge, and that's it. And the machine stops automatically once you get to the end. Time for the brilliant trimmer. Now remember, this is a curved edge, so I've got to make a judgment now what will be the right angle, and that's my judgment. Spot on. And that one's there. And another perfect cut. And we're now ready for the final piece on this board. And this is a curved edge, but we still do everything else as we've done it before. We position, so we're about 2 centimeters away, press the start button, and that's that. Very easy. Now for a finishing touch, in the edge trimming set there is this polishing compound, and there are also these fleeces which stick onto the hand tool, and you can put a little bit of the cream on here, like so, and we're going to polish the edge now. And then once this is done, you call the boss over and say, have a look at this. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, I first started using an Edgebander about 30 years ago, and I remember at the time I burnt my leg when some of the hot glue was spilt. And I helped a friend out about 5 years ago with his Edgebander. And do you know, I don't think there was any difference between the two machines that I'd used 30 years ago and 5 years ago. Nothing had changed. But this is a game changer. Absolute game changer.